Welcome. You have opened the pages of Codex Zool. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time permanently favorite armies in 40k, and that is the Greenskins, the orks. I love orks. They were my second army, and I absolutely love orks. There's just something about them. I think the thing that I like most about them is that it's kind of like having an army of Leroy Jenkins. Leroy Jenkinses. Um, you know, that's kind of each orc's kind of mentality. And if you play them like that, you'll probably actually win, which is the cool thing about it. You can't really say that with too many armies. Um, in your orc book, or just orcs in general, you have four types of models, four types of platforms to build models from. You have your war boss, your knob, your boy, and then your grot or your Gretchen. Um, and all the units, pretty much, in this book, are variations of those four types of units, or some vehicles, of course. But pretty much, you have those four platforms, and most of the units are boys with stuff, like Storm Boys or Ludas, to knobs with stuff like Flash Gits, or knob bikers or knobs of motorcycles. So you kind of have four main platforms to build from an orc army. And just kind of a general overview of the orcs. I have always played them in such a way that I build a list that will exploit one aspect of the game. In fifth, I started running. It's like a basic orc army, boys and trucks and a lot of boys. And then I got a can list, and that was a lot. I loved my can list. That was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it sucks a lot now. But I had the 9 cans and the dreads and the KFF mech, which totally took advantage of, like I said earlier, one aspect of the game, which was how do you kill 10 walkers in 5th edition. It's hard, especially when they have like 4 up KFF safe. And that ethos of orcs has carried and persisted to today, 7th edition, the 7th edition book, I believe. Orcs really can't play like a normal army. If you build an orc army, if you build a take all comers orc army, as you would like a space marine army, you really, that's not really what they are. And obviously they're Xenos, so it'd be kind of lame if they were. But they're really not. They are very good at shooting. Especially if you can get like with a little bit of magic, and some good luck, the shooting's absolutely phenomenal. Shooter boys, if they shoot at something, they're either going to do nothing, which is no big deal because that's kind of what you expect, or they're just going to riddle something. And they're cheap. That's kind of how all the orc codex is. It's very cost effective units. That means they're easily spammable. My current, I guess, my long time, one of my favorite ways to run orcs is with battle wagons. This kind of goes off the idea that you can't really break a lot of AV-14 vehicles in time that the orcs come out and chop you, It's hard to do. And it kind of goes off the fact that if I can just exploit that and get my boys up close, at least a significant chunk of them up close, then I win. It's really that simple. That's kind of how it is with orcs, If you make it into combat with a significant portion of your force, you win. And there's a lot of ways in the orc codex to do that. Because obviously it is mostly a close combat army. First and foremost, I would say it's a close combat army, which can be hard in addition, which is, shooting is predominant. And this this book, I feel, added some things that allow orcs to be more specialized and more elite, if you will. The relics, the lucky stick, the the sneaking cap. You know, these are kind of things that um, allow some extra gimmicks to an already gimmicky army. I definitely consider orcs to be a very gimmicky army. Allows them to be a little bit more finesse when they do it. Some of the formations help them. But at the end of the day, if I could give a piece of advice about orcs, it would be when you're building a list, pick an aspect of the game. You know, do you want to shoot? Do you want to get in close combat? You know, do you want to have a ton of walkers? Do you want to have a ton of vehicles? Do you want to have a ton of mega knobs? Do you want to have a ton of storm boys or flyers? You know, what have you? You don't have a ton of bikes. You don't have a ton of ludas, you know. If you, when building an orc list, always pick one aspect. This is my advice. Always pick one aspect and exploit it. Exploit it so you can take that one aspect of the game and kind of take other armies by surprise. And it is very effective. You know, it's a very effective tactic to do. And yeah, orcs are a lot of fun to play. I am a huge fan of orcs. They're my second army I started collecting, and I love them. And that's what I got for this video. You may now close the pages of Codex Zool.